Hey guys, in this video, we're going to talk about the 7 lessons that I've learned from many weight loss failures. Now, I've been in practice for 29 years, worked on about 40,000 different people. So I had a lot of interaction with people, and you learn so much from your clients. It's incredible. So I guess that's why you call it a practice. So you're practicing, and they're a patient, so they have to have patience. And we have a waiting room. But I had a great opportunity to find out what works and what doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to go through the 7 lessons that I've learned. Okay, so let's start with number 1, fruit. Okay, so here's the lesson that I learned about fruit. You don't want to use fruit if you're trying to help people lose weight. Now, I'm talking about someone with a slow metabolism. I pretty much approach everyone from the viewpoint that they have a slow metabolism. Why do we do that? Because we're going to get results with every type of case. Okay, but if you're operating off this idea that everyone has a good metabolism and they don't have insulin resistance, your results are going to be very, very poor. Okay, so tiny bit of fruit could block a lot of fat burning for a day or 2. Okay, lesson number 2, snacks. Now, I used to recommend so-called healthy snacks. I used to consume healthy snacks between meals and definitely at night. At the time, I thought it was okay because it was healthy. It wasn't junk food. But I found out through trial and error that that's really bad advice, because the snacking increases insulin just because anytime you eat, you trigger insulin, okay? And this data is right in Guyton's Physiology. I must have missed it when I originally studied that, but the point is that if you cut out the snacks, that one action creates huge benefits. So it's a very important lesson that I learned if you want to get results with stubborn weight, especially if you have a slow metabolism or a thyroid issue or whatever. Okay, so even if it's healthy, you want to do everything to avoid the snacking between the meals. That's why we do intermittent fasting. All right, number 3. I used to recommend, it's called a liver enhancement, and it was in my first book, that you would go very low protein, even like no protein, okay, for first 2 weeks. Bad advice. I was thinking that that would be toxic to the body and we're going to detoxify the body by not giving protein, but people would crash and burn. They had a lot of blood sugar issues because our bodies need amino acids to rebuild and repair. So if you cut it out too low or not enough, you're going to actually cause a lot of problems with hair loss, loss of muscle, especially for 2 weeks. So we want to have a moderate amount of protein, okay? We don't want to do a protein detox. We don't want to do a no protein anything. Number 4, I used to recommend that your breakfast was the most important meal of the day. It was in my first book, and I learned that it's actually bad advice. Why would you want to screw up the fast all night long, and then you break the fast with the breakfast, okay? And then you're going to be hungry an hour later. Push yourself closer and closer to lunch and not eat until you're hungry and eventually skip the breakfast. I find that a lot of people do very, very, very well, not just with their weight, but with their health, because you want to go a longer period of time with fasting. Because you're coming out of sleeping, okay? You're already in this fast. Ride the wave. You have momentum. You don't want to screw it up with the breakfast, okay? You want to go as long as you can without eating. Very, very important. So the lesson I learned is the breakfast is not the most important meal of the day, okay? And number 5,